Hey, Geneva.
Hey, Big G. I had nothing today. Oh, wait, shoot. I forget, I do this live now.
Yeah, do it live.
An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1978 John Carpenter classic Halloween, and the 1983 Hot Dog, the movie. Starring
Hot Dog.
JLC, Jamie Lee Curtis, David Naughton, Tony Moran, Tracy Smith, PJ Souls, and Shannon Tweed. Now two guys who are totally awesome, according to themselves. Tim Crutchman and Jeff Miller.
Jawsome.
That totally awesome. That was, when I interviewed Christina Klebe last year at Horror Realm.
You did, and you bring it up quite a bit.
Well,
yeah.
It's like my claim to fame.
Yes.
But she plays the same character that PJ Souls plays.
Yes.
And she was using the word totally a lot. She actually signed my picture totally, and I didn't really understand why.
Until you saw this.
Until I actually watched the movie,
right.
And I know why. So, yeah, Tim and I are totally awesome.
You're learning things.
I am.
You're learning things. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
He's Jeff Miller. We call him the ump. And Jeff was once accused of being mediocre. That was hotly debated. And now it is generally accepted that Jeff is definitely not normal.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Anyway, I bring to that what you may. Want to thank everybody that's here live. For those of you that don't know the show, and it's not the people watching live because they're the fans, the fan and a bunch of bots. But
all the people that email me,
all the ones that email you. But what the show's all about is I'm a horror fan. And he assigns me a sports movie to have to deal with. And Jeff is a sports fan.
Yep.
And I give him a wonderful experience with a horror movie week after week that he enjoys thoroughly.
Now, when Tim and I decided to do this,
yes,
I misunderstood because I thought he said horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's actually horror. So,
when we first did this too, by the way, and we have to say this right at the top of the show, when we first did this show, Jeff's like, I don't like horror movies. I do like horrors, and I usually get those on Thursday nights.
No.
But he said, I'm willing to not do that every Thursday night, just during the off season.
Yeah.
But he said...
Tim,
I'll send that part of the tape to your wife.
Tim, you're going down a dark rabbit hole.
He says to me, I don't want any of this devil stuff.
Yes.
I don't want any devil stuff. No. And I really, really don't want to see the movie Halloween from 1978. Well, guess what movie he's watching this, which means next season, look forward to The Exorcist.
No.
Next season.
I will retire. I will not watch that movie. No.
Now we know what it takes.
There's no amount of money. Nothing.
All right. Well, and
so I got Halloween. I got the 1978 John Carpenter classic. He has other movies out there like The Thing and Escape from New York. So those are all good movies. So I got Halloween. I gave Tim Hot Dog the movie.
Hot Dog!
Hell yeah, man. Are you kidding me?
Hot Dog!
That's a great movie for anyone when we were in our teens in the 80s.
Oh, there are its attractions to the film.
Well, put that
picture
up again. There's a lot of attractions right there.
There's
two nice attractions.
Oh, geez.
And some curves. All right, go ahead.
You misogynist.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. Stop.
Well, actually, that's something...
Hey, look who's in. Swabot.
Oh, Swobet's in. Hold on. I got to press a bunch of buttons. Hold on. We got Swobet is in. We know Trogdor is in. We know the bots are in. And everybody loves him. He's the ump. It's you.
Yeah, I know. But hey, I have a question for you before we get started.
You get confused sometimes.
No, before we get started. So you have put Trogdor's thing up again.
What am I? Your little... Okay.
Okay.
There.
How is that spelled?
Trogdor.
Why on the other thing it's Trogdorsk?
Yeah, I'll explain it to you off the air.
Okay, good. All right, let's go. Let's go. Who's going first, you or me?
You know I'm going first.
You gotta go first.
I'm the most awesome.
Totally.
Totally, yes. Right.
Where's Christy McLeod?
Well, let's get things going here. I had such a great time seeing this movie, Hot Dog the movie, for one reason. I interviewed the star of this movie, David Naughton, at the same horror realm that Jeff met Christina Cleavon. And I had not seen this movie. I've heard about it, because you hear about the R-rated movies when you're a young person that are sex comedies. And
hardly a sex comedy.
And in 1983, this film came out. It seemed like every movie at that time that came out was something the movie. And I think that started. I think that started with Superman the movie.
Okay.
And then there was, Santa Claus the movie. There were a bunch of these that were the movie. This was Hot Dog the movie, and honestly, I think that was a good decision to put the movie after it because it has nothing to do with hot dogs as we talk about today. At the time, hot dog was what you called freestyle skiing.
Correct.
And now we call it freestyle skiing.
Correct.
Nobody says you're hot dogging out there anymore.
No, it was like in its infancy.
It was 83, and it was kind of fun seeing what they thought was super incredible stunts at the time, because today you kind of go, okay. I mean, a lot of the stuff I've done that was out there, I was like, come on. I remember this coming out. I remember the whole the movie business being big at the time. Nudity in young people comedies were already mature by this time. By 1983, this was a thing. Porky's, I believe, had already been out.
Was that Porky's the movie?
No, it was just Porky's.
No, I know.
And it was directed by the same guy that made The Christmas Story.
Really?
I am not kidding. That's an absolute fact that he made that movie, and he made was it Black Christmas? He made one of the first slasher films.
Wow.
I think it was Black Christmas. Something Clark, like Bob Clark is his name. Anyway, in this movie, a hot dogger type of skier is driving along, and he picks up a hitchhiker. So right from the beginning of the movie, you can tell this is a movie that teaches you good family values. When driving around, if you see a hot chick and she's hitchhiking, you pick her up because you might be nailing that later.
No, he didn't. No.
He pretty well knew he was gonna.
He was doing a good service.
If he wasn't gonna get it natural, he was gonna roofie her ass. He would. No. And
it wasn't Bill Cosby. Okay, Bill Cosby was not.
Let me tell you. Okay, now did you rewatch this for tonight's show?
I did.
Recently?
Absolutely, I did.
Did the scene of the liquor roofie not age well?
Yeah, you're right.
There is a scene where they basically roofie, and I'm sure David not. I'm glad I didn't see this movie before because I absolutely would have asked him about it.
That would have been cool.
No, it would have been very uncomfortable and mean. He had nothing to do with that.
I would like to have known if he really knew how to ski.
Who, David?
Yeah,
Naughton?
I would love to have asked him about that. Did you even get on the slopes at all?
I'm sure he didn't do the stunts.
No, but did you get out on the slopes at all? I would like to have asked him that. I would ask, me, I would ask him the sports questions.
Yeah, you would have, and we're looking forward to all the sports questions coming up in your upcoming interview. That actually, I am interested to hear what he has to say, because
Tony Moran.
We never ask those questions. Nobody's ever asked him those, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, this movie has about 38,000 montages. That's a good scene.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how many montages where they were just like, here's a bunch of guys doing tricks. Honestly, it got dull.
Okay.
They didn't really break it up enough. It was like, for the next 15 minutes, everybody, I was like, this would be a good time for me to go get popcorn. And this is supposedly the thing that you're supposed to be like, oh my God, look at this.
That was what the movie's for, right?
But honestly, I was like, no. Now, part of it is you're ruined by the Olympics, right? Because at the Olympics, they do incredible, here doing a single flip, they're like freaking out.
Yeah.
Now we're like, okay, you got to flip like 3 times and end up backwards and then flip again. And, you can tell how much the sport has developed over time. So I think it is valuable as a document of how much sex teenagers had in '83.
Wait, where does that even come from?
What?
That doesn't even correlate.
Correlate.
Sorry.
Why about coral? Why are you interested in coral?
No, why is that? How does that correlate? You're talking about skiing all of a sudden you're talking about sex.
Because I was doing that to irritate you.
I don't get irritated.
I got a question for you.
Yes. Coral.
Are judged competitions a sport?
Yes.
Because, really? So is beauty pageants a sport? Because that's a judged competition. Yes. Really?
Yes, it's a sport. Really? Yes.
Hey, no. You can't run a real stat against it. Therefore, not a sport.
So figure skating's not a sport?
Agreed. I agree entirely. You need a real stat, something that's important, like a pitch count. You need you don't want something that's open to interpretation or open to corruption. What
about ski jumping?
Moaning
what about
about
ski jumping?
Over there?
That's
why are you constantly moaning, buddy?
Why do you try this? Why do you try to set me off? See, here it comes.
There it is.
Yeah, trigger alert.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, you said it. Why,
we triggered you.
You had to say pitch count. Why?
Yeah. Well,
Politicians, crooks. That are politicians. Politicians that are crooks. Well, you got a lot of politicians and crooks in there.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of them.
Gruber, Gruber. Little people. I like little people.
You like telling stories about them.
Well, when you pick a midget up and you do a shot with them, of course.
Oh, my God.
No ice in the free. Yeah, spongy bakery. Gruber Law, Aaron Rod. What about Aaron Rodgers?
Whoops.
Retirement status. I don't even care about him anymore. Other people.
I don't think a lot of people do anymore.
Nah, I think he's done.
There's the pitch count.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People who don't like Jeeps. People who can't get into Jeeps. New Berlin meth labs. Yes, Rob Manfred. Gone. Oh, my God. LeBron James. Gone.
Oh, my goodness.
Opening of IMBD.com. Oh, opening it up. Yeah, it's difficult. Typing, spelling, addition, subtraction. They're all.
That's right.
The Conjuring. Wow, this is
it's a
all
pretty
that
good
stuff
list.
sets me off.
It's a pretty good list. I'm proud of it. Anyway, yeah. So freestyle skiing was only added to the Winter Games. I did look up a few things. Freestyle skiing was added to the Winter Games in 1992 in Albertville, France, or was it Albertville? Something like that.
Correct.
I remember they didn't pronounce it Albertville. That's about all I remember from those Olympics. Now, when I competed in the 1932 Lake Placid Games, they did not yet have freestyle skiing, and I did the cross-country skiing.
Okay.
I had to take some time away from my work helping build Mount Rushmore, but I remember that the then governor, Franklin Roosevelt, told me I could really help the country by beating the Nazis at the games.
What are you even talking about now?
I got a bronze, Germany off the podium. So I'm pretty proud about that.
Tim, you're making stuff up now.
This was, in fact, in 1932 Lake Placid Games was the first year that they had the podium. And I was only 720 years old at the time, so a relatively young man at the point. Anyway, the Chinese downhill. Let's talk about the Chinese downhill.
This is why I knew you did research on this, because I got an IM.
Yeah.
The Chinese downhill. How to win it. Go ahead,
right.
Tim.
And that, by the way, it had nothing to do with what was in the movie.
Yes, I know.
They attempted to be funny about Chinese downhill. All they do is everybody gets at the top of the mountain, and first one down, no matter what you do, the first one down is the big winner. Do you know what the problem with the Chinese downhill is?
What is that?
That's right. It needs more murder. Needs more murder. No one was killed. What?
Did you
Why?
expect someone to be killed?
Why was nobody killed? I was hoping for a little fun, but no. There was some great stunt work, but ultimately, by the time the Chinese downhill was done, you're kind of thinking this is a Chinese fire drill.
True.
It was like,
True.
all right, let's get to the end. We know who's going to win, so let's just get there. And here was the problem. And they did this, obviously, because you don't want to see the actors because it's all, stunt people. But they all have masks on, and they all got their ski goggles on. So you don't even know who's doing what to who. And like, what's the thing? Now, I will say a highlight of the film is Shannon Tweed gets completely buck naked, and she was looking very, very good at that point in her life.
Okay.
That was probably the high point of her life, having done Playboy very close to that time. But here's the thing. Yes, it had the sex part of the teenage sex comedy. Here's the problem. The other part of the teenage sex comedy, it had the teenagers, it had the sex. It wasn't really funny. It was an entertaining little thing to watch, but it wasn't. I mean, you can't say it's not like I'll mention a movie that's very similar in a lot of ways. Police Academy.
Okay.
But if I say Police Academy, I can say the podium scene, and most people that have seen it remember the podium scene.
Yeah.
And it's really funny, and it's well done. This thing doesn't really have a podium scene. It doesn't have that scene where you go, hey, do you remember that? It does have, remember that awkward roofie scene? That's what it has. It isn't really funny. So I was entertained by it, but ultimately, you kind of got to mix some comedy into your comedy.
You got to do that.
You got to. So I think it's grading time on this one. No, wait. What am I doing? Now I'm saying it. Wait.
Yeah.
Whoa, what are we going to do?
Wait, tagline?
Oh my God. It is time
Horror movie connections.
for the horror movie connection. Why?
I know
is
there's
it not
there's
going
at
up?
least one.
Why is it not going up?
That's what she said.
Irritating and upsetting. That is very upsetting. So let's try it again. There it is. Okay.
There we
horror
go.
movie
About
connection.
time. Shoot.
I don't get what's going on with this
Shoot.
thing sometimes. So now it's just doing that. All right, so let's go through the horror movie connection. Well, the obvious one, the one that you got to talk about, is David Naughton from American Werewolf in London.
Yep. I saw that movie.
Hall of Fame member. Twilight Zone 89 episode he was in. The Sleeping Car, Amityville, The New Generation, Clint Howard's The Ice Cream Man, John Carpenter's Body Bags, Mirror Mirror 3,
God.
The Voyeur, Flying Virus, Big Bad Wolf, an episode of Holliston, an episode of American Horror Story, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming, and The Hatred. So he's one of those guys, he was in a big horror movie as a star, and he went on to make a lot of horror movies because he was available to horror movie directors, and he really had a big career out of horror movies. Now, Shannon Tweed, she did a ton of exploitation flicks with sexy in the title. She did a lot of these crime, drama, thriller type movies, like Possessed by the Night. She did a couple episodes of The Hitchhiker. She had a long gig, I was really surprised, on Days of Our Lives early in her career. Yeah. And the one horror movie that I'm sure is a horror movie that she is in and has a prominent role is the movie in 1983, right about the time this movie was made, called Of Unknown Origin. And this is a movie I will be giving to you at some point.
All right.
it's a killer rat movie. It really is. It exists. Patrick Hauser, who is one of the main characters, only had 13 credits. Here he was the star of this movie. He's only had 13 credits. One of them was an episode of The Hitchhiker, which you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Director Peter Markle did a few X-File episodes, and Through the Eyes of a Killer was a movie that he did. Not a whole lot of info on the dude. Really isn't. So, it's interesting.
So would you say if David Naughton, like, okay, so American Werewolf in London, would you say that would be his biggest horror movie? If someone said David Naughton, would that be it? Or do any of those other ones even touch?
Oh, by a country mile.
So nothing else even comes close up there?
By a country mile.
If you had to say what would be the second most...
I hate to say it, but his TV, being an American Horror Story, that's a big show. But Sharknado is probably...
Because it's just how many people it hit?
Yeah. I do think his disco sitcom that he made in the late 70s, early 80s, being in Midnight Madness, those are big things. Actually, Hot Dog is probably one of his biggest movies. But he's done a lot of walk-on appearance type of work. He's a working actor.
Okay.
He's a working actor that was a leading man for a very short period in the 80s. And now he's doing primarily character work.
Did you like seeing him in this role?
I did. There is something very likable about David Naughton.
There really is.
And it was funny because off stage when we were talking to him, he's a little prickly. He isn't a mean person or anything like that, but he's a little, like, fastidious would be the word.
What does that mean? I don't know.
Being like David Naughton, that's what it means. And
am I fastidious? Fastidious?
No.
Okay.
Clearly not.
All right.
But he likes things just so type of thing.
Oh, anal retentive.
Yeah, a little, but not really there. Just a little fussy. Okay? Fussy.
I like that word.
There's a term.
All right.
He's a little fussy. But as soon as you get him talking, he's a very personable, likable guy. But like one thing he was really watching, he kept watching me because he knew I was watching my watch. And he was like, kind of pull me out when I'm going too long was basically what he was looking for. And I'm like, hey, you're still rolling. Go ahead. I literally, that would have been an interview you could have done for a first one. It was like the easiest interview I ever did because it was like wind him up and watch him go. Because he was great that way. It was wonderful. All right, it's time to do some grading on this one.
Yep.
What number do you think I'm going to give it?
You liked it.
I did like it.
You liked it.
Didn't like it a lot.
You didn't like it a lot. You're going to give me over half. I'm going to say... I know what I would give it if I were you, but you're not going to give it that. You're going to give it like a 6.
You got it exactly, pal.
Yep.
That was the number.
Good.
And the reason that was at a 6, like I said, I liked it, but just way too many montages and not funny enough. I think if there was one podium scene level,
I could have got a 7 out of it.
It probably would have been a 7.
See, I knew
if the montages weren't as long, it would have been a 7 maybe. Because the montages, I mean, at one point, I'm like, what the hell? Shaun White is nowhere to be seen.
That's true.
This is not real stuff.
No Peekaboo Street.
Okay. Yeah, it just wasn't the thing. Now, myself personally, when I want to know about sports, there's one place that I go.
Where's that, Tim?
Well, that would be with our good friends at OWC Sports.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do have a quick sports report tonight. I don't hear any music, but I can still probably do it.
You mean like that?
There you go. So the Badgers finally picked up a decent overtime win the other night. So they need to string up a few wins here in the next 6 games to make a true run for March Madness. Marquette plays again Saturday night. They're going to play Georgetown. Marquette is in the top 10 nationally. The Bucks play tonight. The Bucks take on the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. They're facing the new overall points scorer in the NBA, LeBron, I cry a lot, James. Super Bowl. Super Bowl is coming up this weekend, and that pits the Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have a slight edge in this. I would say take the Chiefs and the money. Take the Chiefs and the points for the money.
Okay.
And that's...
Wait, I thought you had a rant.
Oh, do you want during this?
Yeah.
Oh, my
But
God.
I got a button here. See? There it is.
Yeah.
Jeff's rant.
Well, this is it. All right, so you know what? What's going on? Don't do that. Don't do that.
It was nothing.
All right, so here's the thing. Now listen, the Milwaukee Brewers, who I love,
I heard so.
came out. I swear to God, if there's somebody in that closet over there and they jump out, I'm done.
You are?
I'm done.
Is that a promise?
It's a promise. So the Milwaukee Brewers, the team that I bleed, that I love, the Milwaukee Brewers, they came out with their fan giveaways this year. They're all fan giveaways.
Yeah.
And they've bastardized a great movie.
Major League?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ragers?
Raiders.
Oh, Raiders.
Raiders.
I've heard of that one.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. They have a Craig Counsell Raiders of the Lost Ark bobblehead. Are you kidding me? That no one ever... I cannot believe that. Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite movies of all time. And they're pitting that with the worst manager of all time. The manager player that I loathe. And I can just see it. It's going to be Craig Counsell with a little fedora on and a whip. Oh, my God. No.
This is so awesome.
They're playing against the Pirates. I love the Pirates. I'd go to see that game, but I am not going. I will not go to that game.
Really?
I will not go to that game. You can give me free tickets. I will not go to that game. I do not want that bobblehead. So if anybody that knows me thinks, oh, I'll get you up that bobblehead, I do not want it.
Will.
No. Craig Counsell as Indiana Jones. You know that.
You're filled with the love for him.
No.
You're filled with the love.
Maybe the best thing that could happen is if Craig Counsell gets fired before then.
Wow.
And then
you're kind of a mean little guy.
Well, Craig Counsell, really, if you're going to put Craig Counsell as Indiana Jones, one of the greatest explorers of all time, archaeologists, he discovered the Ark.
He discovered Nazis.
Craig Counsell has a hard time discovering his own toilet.
All right, Jeff. Wrap her up.
That's it. And I'm Jeff Miller, and that's all the sports I know.
That is. All right. And we want to remind all of the people watching tonight that we want you to take part in the show. And the best way to do that is for you to tell a friend about tonight's program and all the great entertainment you get here at Dead on the Bases.
You can email me too.
You can email Jeff because he's needy like that.
So what happened is my email got shut down.
It did.
Yep. So
Is that because of all the porn?
No.
No. Is it about the whores?
No. It's just I had so many emails in there that it shut it down.
Why are you so low in your camera again?
I don't know.
Why do you keep doing this? No, now you knocked it over completely. Oh my God. Just keep talking.
So no, tell a friend about the show. We're Dead on the Bases. There we go. Why does it take so long for this to come up?
For it to come up?
Yeah.
That's called suspense. Here's everybody's favorite. Yeah. Oh, who named their dog Tango?
I saw that.
That's awesome.
I do.
Love it. I love it. Hey, you know what time it is, Jeff?
Nope.
It is time for your special little scene.
There's so many things that go on here that I don't even know what time it is.
I don't either. I'm always just hitting buttons at random.
That's too high.
Yeah, it is.
That's right.
No, about
that's too low. Up a little bit more.
Are you kidding me right now?
A little bit. There we go. Okay, that's kind of good. Yeah, I'll take that.
Kind of good.
I'll take that.
Perfection personified.
All right, so I'm Jeff Miller. I'm a sports fan.
Yes, he is.
I'm the ump, and I had the 1978 movie that I've been trying to avoid. I've avoided it since 1978.
Since 1978.
When I was 10. I would never have seen it when I was 10, but I've avoided it.
I
The
think
hour
you
and
would've.
31 R-rated movie by John Carpenter. The Night He Came Home. Halloween. And I did vow to Tim. Halloween, Friday the 13th, and like any kind of devil movie, I said I will not watch.
Right.
But
So we gave him Halloween.
But I kind of asked for this myself because I'm going to be interviewing Tony Moran out at Horror Realm coming up, and I said, you know what, I should really watch
This
the movie.
was a vast conspiracy to get you to watch this movie.
Did you? Is that really?
No.
You SOB.
No, it was not.
So, anyways,
But Tony Moran does do
Yep.
a lot of horror conventions, and we knew this would be a great way to get you to see this film finally. So,
and I even had a song, but I'm not going to sing it. I was singing it during the pre-show, but I won't sing it now. So
that's very nice of you.
So anyway, this is. I'm not really going to be telling anybody anything that they don't already know. I don't know. I'm not going to really spoil it either, just in case you're a person like me that you've avoided it. But so this is a movie that takes place in the 70s. You can tell, and it actually took place.
Yes, you can.
It took place in a very short period of time. I think he shot it over like 40 some days or 14 days, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it takes place in 1978. All right. So let me get rolling here.
Okay.
But what happens is, it's hard for me to describe this, but I want to describe it. The thing of it is that I didn't think that this movie was the way it was. As it turns out, in the very beginning, you have a little Michael Myers, and he kills his sister, right? And
she had it coming.
why? But listen, he killed the sister, and then they take him away, right? They take him away. He's locked up. Now, I'm trying to do in my head math, which is not easy. So I got out pen and paper, and I'm trying to figure out time and date and how old this kid should be.
You literally scored Halloween. You took score.
Yeah. Yep. I was keeping track of the days and everything just to make sure that they weren't trying to screw me on this like they did on the Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. So anyways, so he's in this...
Fish That Ate Pittsburgh.
He's in this room, and they say he's catatonic, so he doesn't talk or speak or blink or eat or drink or anything.
Do much of anything.
He just sits there. And who's this guy who's the main professor guy?
Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance plays Loomis. And did you know that there's a connection with Loomis in here that I read about and I can't remember what it was. Anyways, but so he's the doctor. He's the one who's going to watch over him.
Yeah.
And it's coming time that he's going back. Now, see, this is where I got lost. This is where I have some questions. Okay. Why was Loomis and the one nurse going to the asylum? Why were they going there?
Going to transport Michael Myers.
Why? Why were they going to transport him
because he was now an adult.
Okay.
And move him to a new facility. That's the best I can tell.
No,
I don't know that they actually say that.
That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes sense to me.
Okay. Good.
So what happens though is that Michael Myers actually escapes, and he goes.
Whoopsie.
And what he does is, not knowing where he is, there's no GPS. He jumps into a car, and he somehow gets back to, is it Haddonfield?
Illinois.
Haddonfield, Illinois. So somehow he gets back there. Now, Tim, how did he do that?
He drove.
I know, but how did he know where to go?
Well, it wasn't stick shift, so he just put it in the drive. And he went.
He didn't know where he was going.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a homing pigeon?
Yes.
He was a homing maniac.
Okay, so he gets back to his hometown. Right. Now, he's back in
home.
He's back in his home.
Because it's his home, he can find it.
He's back in his home.
Because he's a homing maniac.
He's back
in his always can find their way home.
He's home, right? But
triggering him.
But his home is like shot. It's like it's destroyed.
Who's gonna buy that house after somebody's brutally murdered by a 7-year-old in that house?
But see, that's the thing I don't understand.
What?
What I understand is a
7-year-old can kill her sister?
Yes.
That is good because have you ever fought a 7-year-old, they're not real tough.
No.
7-year-old, you can pick them up and throw them away.
She could put her hand out like this and kept them away.
Yeah, I agree. That part of the story, I kind of sit there and I go, why didn't she just toss them out the window?
Okay, so what happened to the parents?
What happened to the parents?
Uh-huh.
They lived the rest of their life.
Okay, so that tombstone that's in the graveyard is of his sister.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so we're back
and
to...
the way we know that is that the sister and the tombstone have the same name.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
You're
so
welcome.
He's roaming around this town,
I'd
okay?
like to help.
And it's scary. This is the part that scared me as a kid, where I might have seen this on television, like a part of it.
Right.
It looks like any town in USA. The streets are just, leaves are blowing. It's fall.
That's why they said in the Midwest is the greatest part of the country.
But he's walking around in people's yards. He's sticking out his head behind hedges. He's like everywhere.
Yes.
And the thing of it is that
that makes it scary.
He never runs. He just walks. And he somehow gets to you.
You know why?
And that's why
it's so
scary.
He saw he's walking?
Why?
Because it's some asshole at his
Tim.
his fitness place told him he had to do 10,000 steps a day.
Okay.
So he needed to get his 10,000 steps. You might have even have noticed a couple times he kind of pulls it out and he goes, I'm only at about 8,000.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is the female lead in this movie. And she's a
This is early in her career.
She's a high school student along with PJ Souls and then another girl. Nancy. And the thing of it is that what I noticed in this is
she plays Annie.
I noticed in this is that all these girls are kind of
old for high school.
Old for high school, but kind of bitchy at each other.
Have you ever met? You have lots of them working at your workplace.
Yeah, but they're not.
That's what they're like.
But they were terrible. They're like giving her crap about what she's wearing.
Have you never heard of Mean Girls?
She's dating and all that. But
yeah,
I didn't expect it to be in this movie.
I was
surprised.
I thought the conversations between the girls seemed very much like girls talking at the high schools when I was a teacher. I would overhear them, and that was the sort of nonsense they kept talking about.
But
now they weren't saying totally quite as much as PJ Souls, and she is still teased about that to this day when she comes.
Is she really?
Yeah, when she comes to conventions, and she is. By the way, if you ever go to a convention, she's there. She is the nicest, sweetest person you're.
She's like a mom, right, or something.
She seems like everybody's mom. She hugs a lot of her fans. She is just very, very open and happy type of person. In fact, we were at one of the conventions, and there was, you know how they sometimes set up water or something in a hotel room? Well, in this one, they had hot coffee because we were outside and there was a tent. And she's like, oh, where's the stuff? I'll make some more coffee. And it's like, no, no, Ms. Souls, you're a celebrity. You don't do that. Okay? You go and you sign things. It was so funny. It cracked me up.
Oh, I bet it did. It's always good to see celebrities when they're kind like that out in the wild, out in the like normal.
In the wild.
In the wild. So anyway, so Jason? No, not Jason.
Hey, wait a minute.
Michael Myers.
Oh, there's a Muskego connection. Because Loomis is a road.
Yeah.
Here in
Loomis
Muskego.
Road. There you go.
That was the connection you were looking for.
Could have been. I don't know. But anyways, so I don't even know. Stop with that, Tim. Anyways, nobody's believing you anymore.
Really?
So anyways, so back to the movie. So Michael Myers, he's after...
Wait, what's going on? What is that?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's, you know what? It's not like that one movie we watched, The Conjuring, when you would play that crap. Ugh. So anyways. Wait, why is that picture? I did not see that in the movie.
What? That skeleton? That's
no, of
actually
Tony,
here.
of Tony Moran.
No, it was in the movie. It's
Or
like a hot second.
I saw this part, but when he's standing there like that, you took that one part out of there? Because I watched it. I saw him.
That's a screenshot.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, so Michael Myers is after Jamie Lee Curtis, Lori.
Who wouldn't be?
Exactly.
She is delicious.
Can I ask some questions about this?
You can.
Why is he after her?
He wants to kill her.
But why? What is his connection with her?
They do go into that, which kind of ruins the franchise, in my opinion.
So they went into it when? Not in this
in
movie?
Halloween 2, they
Okay,
did that
that's what I
because
was
there were a
asking
lot
you.
of people like you that went around and said, well, why is he chasing her?
Yeah.
And frankly...
Should we tell him or no?
He killed all of her friends. She was left.
Why did he go after those people? He stalked them over at the very beginning.
Actually, if you read about horror movies, they'll always say it's kind of a morality tale, right? Because those girls were having premarital sex, but she wasn't.
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis
Right.
wasn't, and she survived.
But
Because she wasn't bumping uglies. She wasn't.
But there's so many people in
hiding
that
the
town.
salami.
there were so many people in that town. Why'd they go after her?
Okay, there aren't that many cute girls that look as good as Jamie Lee Curtis.
I don't know. I don't know why he went all the way back to his own
I
hometown.
guarantee you there aren't that many good.
I'm going to ask Tony Moran, why did he go after Jamie Lee Curtis?
Okay, and he'll give you the answer.
Well, there you go. And then I thought it was kind of...
I actually like that there isn't a reason explained. It's kind of like, well, in Jaws, why did they go after the boat? Because it's a crazy shark.
No, because the boat
It's
was
a
camping after
crazy
them.
shark.
That's why.
It's a crazy shark.
Yeah, but that's different.
This is a crazy guy.
But here's the thing.
He's a homing maniac. Homing maniac.
So why did he take the...
I'm gonna copyright that.
Homing... So
A
why did
homing
they...
maniac.
Why did he take the headstone? What was the purpose of putting that on the bed with the other woman? Why? What was the purpose of taking the headstone away?
Again, he's a crazy person. He's a crazy person.
Then that's really
Why
crazy.
is there? I mean, what do you want? Why did he kill all those people? It's crazy.
Well, he killed them because he killed them, but why take a stone? That had been pretty heavy.
It probably was.
So
maybe
they're probably
he's a
showing
weightless. Well, Tony Moran is a weightless.
Maybe they're trying to show his strength.
You know, they don't push the strength as much in this particular episode of the series. But you do notice at one point he picks a guy up with one hand.
Yes.
While he stabs him with the other.
That's another thing. There's a mysterious 2 knives in this movie.
There's 2 knives. There's also some knitting needles.
Yeah, but did you see the knife that he used, and then all of a sudden,
my favorite,
it was...
there's a coat hanger that I enjoy quite a bit.
I saw that too, but it seemed like that knife magically came from downstairs upstairs.
Oh.
But I'm just saying. Okay, there's some plot holes. There's some holes.
Can I ask you a question? Because you've asked me a lot of questions. Can I ask you
Yeah.
one question? Was it scary? Was it as scary as you thought it was going to be?
No.
Okay.
No. It was more
that.
It was more of a psychological type scary because
Yeah.
it's like, where is he? Where is he going to come out? Where is he going next?
When is it? Yeah.
Yep.
When is he showing up in that backyard and looking at her?
On the scary edge, it was nothing like Collector or
Conjuring.
or The Conjuring. But this is more of a psychological thriller or scary movie to me because where is he going to be? Why is he there? I don't get it. I mean, and then what was the whole thing with him putting when he put that sheet over himself like he was a ghost?
The boyfriend did that first, and then he was trying
I didn't see the boyfriend do it.
Yeah, the boyfriend, and he put the glasses over. He did that when he wanted to make out with PJ Souls, and he thought it was funny. And then later on, he kills the boyfriend, and he goes.
And then, how did he miss her?
Yeah,
how did he miss her right there? On that slash, he just slashes the side of her arm.
You know what it is.
It's terrible. And then
by that time, he had the knitting needles in him, and he had lost his stereoscopic vision.
Shut up.
So he had depth perception issues.
Shut up. And what about having lit pumpkins?
You asked me the questions. I'm giving answers, and I'm getting shut up.
So which of the girls did you think were the hottest? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie. I'm
No,
a big Jamie
I
Lee
actually like the
Curtis.
dark-haired one.
Annie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she was hot to trot, but so was PJ. PJ was good to go.
PJ is good to go, but
She was good to go.
But
There was no warming her up, if you know what I mean.
So, anyways,
Annie had. I think the woman that played Annie. Yeah, Annie. She had a very natural acting style, and what I mean by that is, you didn't catch her acting. You know, she it seemed like what was coming out of her mouth is things that she says every day.
Right.
You know, and I really liked that about it.
Why weren't there a lot of kids out trick-or-treating?
You know, that's a good question. I'm thinking because they were in the city of Muskego and they don't allow them out after 8 p.m.
They weren't. They were in Haddonfield.
Oh, well, I heard only have it till 7 p.m.
Now, was Jamie Lee Curtis in the sequel?
Okay. And I don't have that graphic, but as I've talked to you before, Halloween has like this weird continuity thing going on.
Which is good. But 1 and 2 follow each other, right?
2,
because this is supposed to be the next day or
Halloween 2 picks up like literally at the last scene of this movie, replays, and then you do the rest in the next movie. It's like an exact sequel later that same night.
Do you know how far apart they came out? I mean, do you have to wait a couple years for it, or was it like next year?
It was only a year or two.
Okay.
And they came out with the new one because this movie was extremely successful in the box office. Extremely successful, and they didn't spend a whole lot to make it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Tony Moran, $200 for his mug.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And he's the face of...
He's made more than $200 over the years.
Think about it.
Based on this.
And when you watch this movie, if you've never seen it before, he is really on there for a blink of an eye. That's it.
No, it's like a second, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is very, very brief.
I actually came up with some questions about that scene for my interview.
Good for you.
All right, so...
Now, okay. When this movie came out, you have to put this into perspective. And you're like, well, it wasn't quite as scary as you had expected.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Keep in mind, when this movie came out, the whole slasher genre wasn't in place yet.
Okay.
So you didn't know that the bad guy, and this is a minor spoiler, but I feel like everybody knows this about slashers at this point, that slashers don't die necessarily. That they don't get killed, at least not easily, right? In this movie, the scene that you see right there on the screen, after the closet scene, when he gets back up, people were screaming in the theaters because
really
that sort of thing just didn't happen in a movie like this. There have been other, murder movies out there where people are getting killed, but when they got shot, when they were stabbed, they died and they stayed dead. Now it's pretty consistent where you think you killed the killer and he comes back up. He's not really dead yet, and it comes again. This movie is what started that stuff. This is the movie, and when it happens, that sequence and the knitting needles, it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Because it seems like he should be croakified.
Do you think you know what scene in here I jumped at? I jumped one time. And not saying anything good or bad about it, but what do you think it was?
It was the car seat, the backseat car seat. Because I know you don't like stuff being behind you.
Stop.
Because when we came into the studio today, he would not enter the studio until I closed the shade.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, the scene that made me jump was the rain gutter when it hit the glass.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's a throwaway scene.
Throwaway? Almost had to change my pants.
You know, watching this movie, I'd probably have seen this movie 30 times.
Really?
Yeah. What I was surprised by is how long the movie is going before he escapes the insane asylum.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, they're really establishing what a psycho Michael Myers is. I mean, there's a lot of scenes in Donald Pleasance say, this guy's evil. Oh my God. You know, all that stuff. Really, Jamie Lee Curtis might be the star of the movie, but it's really the story of Donald Pleasance going after Michael Myers in a lot of ways, because that's the character you're with
the whole time.
The whole length.
I like the scene where he was talking to the two doctors in the auditorium.
Yes.
That was kind of a cool scene. I don't even know why, but that was a pretty cool scene.
Donald Pleasance is an underrated actor. I think he's really great.
What else has he been in?
Well, that may or may not be coming up in a second, so I ain't telling you.
Okay, so you want a rating from me?
I do want a rating from you.
I want to know. Shoot, I should write it down because I'm curious what you think I was going to rate it.
I'll write it down.
After hearing, you want to write down? Okay, you write down.
You took all my pens. Again.
No, I took my pen.
That's not your pen.
I brought it here. It's my pen.
Okay. That's what I think.
All right, so I will tell
Showing it to the home audience.
All right, so when can I look at the screen?
You can look now.
Okay, so this is how I feel about this. I went into this movie very negative. Like, I do not want to watch it.
You are a negative Nancy.
But I can appreciate what John Carpenter put together on this movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is like the original of the slashers, and this is where everything else kind of spawned from. I give this a solid 8. What'd you give it? Or what'd you think I would give it?
Why don't you open that up?
You can open it. Look at that. An 8. Yep. I can appreciate it. I can appreciate a good movie. Horror, comedy, drama.
Carpenter is just an expert at suspense.
Yeah.
And this movie builds its suspense.
It does.
And when you watched it, were you surprised how few people get killed?
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't a ton of murder. There's just the right amount.
1,
Just
2,
the right amount.
Do you know how many?
I think there's like about 5.
I think it's 5,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. So thank you, Tim, for
lots of fun.
For getting me
and
to
now
watch
you're
that.
ready for your big event.
Yeah.
Coming up at Horror Realm,
which is coming up. Are we doing that? Yes. Ooh, 21
days.
March
Wow.
3rd to the 5th.
Yeah, it's good times coming up for that. But you know what time it is? And we're getting late, so we got to get our butts going.
Oh, geez.
It is trivia time. Who's going to go first this week? I think I hit
Why don't
this
you ask me first?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I got to look at my screen. Okay. Here we go.
No, you can't have that open in case when I ask the questions.
Okay. Here we'll go here. All right?
Yep.
Is that okay? All right. Which ones did I want to go with? Okay. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Number 1, Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of showbiz personalities Tony Curtis and Debbie Reynolds.
Okay.
Number 2, Donald Pleasance played Sam Loomis in this film, but is probably best known for being Blowfield in You Only Live Twice. And let's see.
Shoot him.
And let's go with Halloween made over 200 times its budget back in worldwide grosses, making it one of the most successful independent films ever made.
So here's the thing.
No, this is not The Thing. This is 1978's Halloween by John Carpenter. But nice guess. So that would be wrong.
Don Pleasance is true. He was blue.
You're sure of that?
Well, I don't know if that's the name. See, that's what sucks, though, because I don't know if that's the character he played.
Uh-oh.
Or if that was even the movie he was in.
Uh-oh.
But
That
see,
does
Jamie Lee...
make it tough.
Okay, so 3 is correct.
You know that to be true.
Yes. Because that's a lot of writing. Yeah, what's new? That's what she said. Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of showbiz personalities Tony Curtis and Debbie Reynolds. Now, this This should be like the slam dunk answer because everybody knows this answer. But you know what? That is the false one because I know it's Janet Leigh. That's false. One is false. One is false. One is false.
You're sure?
I'm 100% positive.
You're sure? You're sure?
Yes. Psycho. And here's the thing. When I was thinking,
you are correct.
I was racking my brain while you were reading the other ones. I'm like, I know what her mom's name is, and I'm like, is it Debbie Reynolds? Was she in Psycho? Look at that, baby.
Would you like a little bit more about the numbers of the movies?
I would. I really would. Thank you,
Halloween is something like the 7th most profitable film ever. Its production budget was $325,000. It made over $33 million.
Oof.
Now,
wow.
Guess what? There is a movie, a couple horror movies beat it out. The Blair Witch Project.
That's a nasty movie.
And Paranormal Activity.
That's nasty also.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they made even more. Like, Paranormal Activity was $450,000, just $100,000 more than Halloween.
Uh-huh.
But it made $89 million. Almost 3 times as much in the theaters. But they're both beaten on a percentage basis by Mad Max, which is, the first of the Road Warrior films. But here's the one you won't believe. It's a sports movie.
What is it?
Facing the Giants. It was a Christian sports movie. I think it was about Pop Warner League or something. And it was made for $100,000. Which is about how much money you put into the Jeep to run it each year.
Whatever.
It made $24 million, Jeff.
Wow. That's
$24 million. I wish I would have invested in that one.
That's crazy.
That would have done okay. All right, go ahead with yours. He's going to read me 3 statements. I'm going to tell him which one is falsamundo. About Hot Dog, the movie. But by the way, congratulations. You did well on your.
Did you figure I was going to get that?
Trivia.
You figured I was going to get that, didn't you?
I wasn't sure. I wanted to give that one because, see, I try to give you ones where afterwards, if you get them wrong, you punish yourself.
I would have been pissed. The whole time I'm reading that one, I wasn't even listening to the other 2.
There's one I knew you wouldn't get if I put it out there. And I'm like, well, what's the fun in that? I want to give him one where he thinks he knows, and then he doesn't know, and then he does know.
Tim,
it's fun that you get so.
I wasn't even listening to the other 2 questions, to tell you the truth. I really wasn't, because I wanted to make sure that Debbie Reynolds. I had to make sure that wasn't the right person.
Do you know who Debbie Reynolds'
know who
daughter
she is? I do if you tell me.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Hot Dog the movie featured featured 2 Playboy playmates. Shannon Tweed, who was the 1982 Playmate of the Year,
and hot as hell.
While Tracy Smith, Gene Smith,
Simmons' wife now.
Yep. Yeah. While Tracy Smith, who played Sonny, was January 1983 Playmate of the Month. David Naughton, who sports a New York Mets hat during the entire movie, is actually a hardcore Yankees fan.
Who cares?
And even though the Austrians swept all the alpine events in the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, they did not win the gold in the freestyle.
Well, there was no freestyle.
Yeah, but I found that out when you were talking about the stupid movie.
Yeah, so is that a lie? Yes, that would be a lie.
No. Wait, listen to it again.
That would be a lie.
No, listen to it again. They did not... Because I'm saying there was no freestyle. They did not win a gold in the freestyle. So there was no
horrible question.
It is. So that's a true one. So you got to pick between the other 2.
Okay. Well, I know there were 2 Playboy playmates because there had to be at least 2 Playboy playmates. That was like a rule in those movies. My guess is the other Playboy playmate was the woman in the hot tub that comes up to the front office desk and gives them their keys totally topless. And I'm like, well, she's got to be somebody that they had her do that scene. So I'm thinking that one's true. The David Naughton thing, you knew I wouldn't give a crap. I didn't even know he was wearing a baseball hat. So I'm going to say that one's false.
No, actually, that one's true. Tracy Smith was never a Playboy playmate. Just Shannon Tweed. She was the only playmate in this whole movie.
No, there's another one.
But it's not Tracy Smith though.
Oh my God. Fine.
I said Tracy Smith, who played Sonny. I said who the person was.
Whatever. All right. So
I did my due diligence.
Okay. I do think there's another playmate.
But I didn't. But
there's always.
But I used specific names.
Okay, that's fine. All right, let's get to the scores.
You cannot do that to me.
What a bunch of nonsense.
Whatever.
All right. So the horror movie, you gave it an 8. I gave the sports film a 6. I did not get trivia. Jeff got a big 5-pointer. That's going to put him in the lead.
By 1 whole point.
He's in the lead. You know, last season it was down to a point or two, so you don't know. That could be it. Right,
you know where that 1 point's going to come from?
You cheat me out of that 5 right there.
No, you know where that point came from?
First he gives me a question that doesn't work, and then there's one that is like a little... I bet you that other chick's a Playboy. If not, she put out.
If not, then you should get a negative 5.
She put out all the time.
No way.
She probably...
A Vestal virgin.
Yeah, right. Look up the innkeeper.
I'm gonna.
I bet you she is. Why else would you have given her a speaking role?
How do we know? Girl at the party.
Girl,
she's not even in here.
There's a lot of girls at the party. You don't want to find her.
I do, because I want to know that there was not another playmate in here.
Probably in there.
Here, Motel Clerk.
Crystal Smith. I bet you.
1971
1971 issue of Playboy. Playboy Playmate of the Month, September 1971. There's always, I'm telling you, every teen sex movie has at least 2 playmates. If they're not 2 playmates, if this would be the 90s, I would say there'd be Penthouse, because they started coming into their own in the 90s. That's okay.
Tim,
you legitimately beat me. We're gonna move on.
I did not.
I know you didn't, but I know these movies. They always hire 2 because one of them might decide not to go naked at the last minute. That's why. And if you want to learn more about that, read the book about Caddyshack, because the woman in there that does the topless scene, she tried to get off the hook.
Did they?
Like, what the hell?
What did we learn from my interview with Christine Klebe?
What?
And her nude scene in the remake of Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, they did the nude scene first.
Yes.
So that you're in for the rest of the movie.
They do that these days. Back in the 80s, they were not so smart.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think they figured that out after time. They're like, why don't we shoot that first?
Yeah, let's get the goods.
What are we doing?
Let's get the goods on her.
Yeah. So, oh my God.
Well, Tim...
good stuff.
I meant no disrespect on that one.
It's okay. This is fun, and it keeps it nice and close. So let's go. I know I got better movies I'm giving you than that absolute garbage that you give me week after week. But it's time for us to preview those items, and I hit that button and this. Okay, so we got 2 movies coming up.
Yes.
I am going to be watching Vision Quest.
Yes.
Why did you choose that for me, Jeffy?
It takes place in the 1980s, and the guy's a wrestler. I was a wrestler in the 80s in high school. It brings back some good memories of Muskego for me. So, I don't know, it's just a little nostalgic in a way.
Good amount of murder? Good amount? Decent amount?
No murder.
Oh, my God. All right.
I gave you murder
and
one
then
time. And you didn't care.
I give him the Murder Festival, Aliens, coming up February 16th. It's next week, Thursday. We're going to see the sequel to Aliens. The big debate is going to be, which movie did you like more? Because you watched Alien at the end of last season. I wanted to put this near the beginning of
this
this
is the first
season.
time we've done this, where we've had sequels in back-to-back seasons.
And this franchise, there is a lot of division as to what the better movie is.
Really?
And there's a big question as to, is this movie truly a horror movie, or is it more of an action adventure? Which a lot of people hit me with on Jaws as well. I feel it's a horror movie, and I'll tell you exactly which scene after you watch it that I think proves it's a horror movie. But because there is a very scary scene in this movie.
Do you think
you'll be watching it like this? Help me, Tim! It's a scary movie.
Tim,
that's my impression of Jeff. Everyone.
As of right before I even watched this, because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Do you, in your mind, have an idea which one you think I'll like more?
I think you're gonna like this one more.
Okay.
I think you're gonna like this one more. It is directed by James Cameron, who did the Terminator films, and Avatar films, and he made True Lies, which I
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Well, the best Jamie Lee Curtis ever is in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Trading Places is kind of good.
Trading Places is good, but I really love her in True Lies.
Yeah, where she's hanging from that helicopter.
No, in the bedroom.
Oh, when she's pretending to be the
seduction dance. It's like wow.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so that's what we have next week.
That's coming up next week here on the Big Show, and we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight.
Do we? All three of you?
What, do we even have three?
No. Kind of disappointed.
Well, we got the bots. The bots are ready for us over there. They cover it. As I've mentioned before, the show isn't watched live; it's watched later, and people listen to it.
That should be the new tagline.
Don't watch us live. Watch us later. Yeah.
So new merch. Don't watch us live. Watch us later. There you go.
But if you really want to help us out, a great way to do that is write up a review of the show. Leave it somewhere public. Don't email it to Jeff like all these other emails he gets. Put it out in public there how much you like the show. Tell a friend about the show, and they can find it anywhere, because it's time to close the crypt and call the game, and we want to thank you all for watching. You can subscribe to us by following us at otherworldlyculture.com or using Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and other fine places you find podcasts. Now, you can also pick special feeds where you get everything that we put on, like Dead on Movie Reviews and Dead on the Bases, or you can pick just Dead on the Bases. You can kind of choose which shows you get to come through on your feed.
I like that.
That's pretty exciting. So remember, everybody, if it's sports, it's a home run. But if it's horror, run home! We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time. Press it again. And one more time. There it goes. My God. Do you think we got too much running? Is that maybe the problem?
I think so, but you got it under control. Tim is the man.
Oh, yes.